So it all begins in 1970 or something. William Afton and Henry Emily decide to go wage war on bears for some reason. And to celebrate extincting the entire bear population, they then proceed to, open up a restaurant themed around bears as a way of celebrating their triumphant defeat of the bears. Oh, God. In this restaurant, they had a brilliant idea. What if they were to make Iron Maiden suits? Iron Maiden suits. And even more interestingly, what if these Iron Maiden suits could kill you? So naturally, they made it a children's restaurant because, of course, they did. I don't know. Maybe they had a thing. But yeah, either way, that happened and we don't question it. But then William Afton did the unthinkable. He had children. Like, he had a wife, they had kids, so I guess he wasn't gay, but that won't stop the fan fictions. But either way, he had children. And one of those children was a kid. Was an old kid and a young kid and a girl. Yeah, there's three of them. Won't stop the fan fiction from making more. But yeah, either way, they had children. Well, the older child, Michael, hated his brother, who we'll just call Evan because of some stupid puzzle book. Yeah, it's convoluted how he got his name. Either way, Evan had a habit of crying a lot. In fact, he had to drink gallons of water every day in order to be able to replenish his tears, so he could cry more. Honestly, that's just sad. Well, it all came to a point where Michael, after seeing his water bottle being drinking entirely by Evan, got really pissed and he got his friends to bully Evan for 5 years. It all culminated in Michael throwing Evan into the Freddy Bear robot, which spring locked and it killed Evan. Evan is now dead and has brain tumor injuries. So, yeah, take that as you will. Either way, William Afton, getting pissed that Michael did this, decided to kill other children just so people would feel sorry for him. I don't know. It's unclear why he did this. But yeah, either way, he killed other children because why not? It's my best guess is he did this in order to collect remnant, which, if you don't know, that's basically child goo that gives you immortality or something or whatever. Yeah, it's not quite explained upon. Either way, after collecting all the remnant he needed, he decided to inject it into himself. He turned into a rabbit. I mean, he turned purple. Yeah, his skin turned purple, and that was awkward. I'm already off the bat ruining the story. But yeah, as you can tell, after William Afton proceeded to, Henry Emily found out, he kicked his ass to the curb, and yeah, more happened. The restaurant shut down, so they had to make a new one with sexier robots to lure more people there. They, of course, they had to cut corners, like removing the kitchen, because who needs to eat food at a restaurant? And yeah, as you can tell, Henry Emily basically was like making a restaurant where you couldn't get food because there was no kitchen, and you could only really just watch the robots do shit. Or if you wanted to be a real prick, you could like tear apart one of the robots, White Foxy to be more specific, and turn it into some ungodly abomination. In fact, White Foxy got so mangled up that they renamed him from White Trash Foxy, or more specifically, Supremacist Foxy, to Mangled, because of course, it's not, yeah. After that, William Afton, seeing their success, proceeded to kill more children and put them in those robots, those toys. Then he proceeded to go out and make his own restaurant, a fun house called Circus Baby's Pizza World, because I don't know, he had a weird fetish for clowns. Like he turned his wife into a ballerina because she left him, probably for killing children or something. Yeah. Well, either way, his daughter Elizabeth, who I mentioned earlier, thought, "Hey, I want to go buy the robot," and he was like, "No." She went by the robot. The robot clawed her, and she died. William Afton got depressed and killed everyone in the restaurant and then closed it down. He then stuffed their bodies into the robots, and yeah, as you can see, what? Anyways, while that was going on, the Five Nights at Freddy's location got closed down due to food poisoning, despite the fact it had no food. William Afton decided to use his influence on the news to basically shut down that restaurant or something. I don't know. Okay. And before that could get any weird, and before you think that gets weirder, Michael Afton is then instructed to go to Circus Baby's Pizza World by William Afton as a way to, get rid of the ghosts that are haunting his dreams, which is many at this point because William Afton killed everyone. But yeah, as you can tell, this is already going off the rails in the story. I don't even think I can understand this story anymore. But yeah, well, Michael Afton goes there, he gets manipulated by his little sister, and she kills him. Like with an ice cream scooper, and he's like, it's insides, outsides. And he too becomes purple, though he is a rotten corpse. And also Circus Baby decides to band together with the rest of the robots to become one and become entered. And they all decide to join Michael inside Michael's body. They went inside him. It's kind of gross when you think about the implications, but whatever. Before you think that gets any dumber, just know it's only. I'm not even finished. We haven't even gotten to the first game. Well, Michael Afton then comes back to life because of course he does, and he's like, "Huh, I'm a bad guy. I should become good guy." And he does. He decides to go to the restaurant that the FNAF crew were at, and oh yeah, that does happen eventually. And he eventually proceeds to try and destroy the robots, but ultimately fails because Henry Emily caught him and fired him because he was tampering with the robots, and yeah, it's a whole prick. But the robots did think he was their dad, except for Golden Freddy, which was like, "Michael, you prick," because that was Crying Child or Evan or whatever. Oh, there was also Cassidy inside of that, but we don't need to care right now about that name. Anyways, so as this was going on, William Afton then proceeded to break in and destroy all the robots. The robots then became ghosts, and despite the fact that they literally were ghosts and had no bodies, William Afton got scared and skittish and went inside his trusty rabbit fursuit, and proceeded to get Iron Maidened. It hurt. So much so that he is still in constant agony to this day and refuses to die. He also got his dick cut off. So, ow. Before you think this gets any weirder, just Henry Emily then proceeds to board up the room and says, "Do this happen?" And then leaves William to die. Of course, William never dies, because of course he doesn't. Instead, William spends the next 30 years not knowing what's happening in the world, so he instead is acting politically incorrect and yada yada. You gotta get the point. And then he proceeds to leave the room, and, he then gets abducted by carnies who put him in some fake pizzeria. That's a haunted house, actually. Michael Afton goes to the haunted house and sees his dad, and he becomes a night guard, and his dad tries to kill him because he hates his son. I don't know. Well, Michael Afton then proceeds to smoke a huge blunt and starts seeing ghosts. Before it gets even worse for him, he then sets the whole thing on fire and leaves. The carnies are pissed at him, so he has made one huge enemy, but whatever. But William Afton didn't die. Instead, he began to look like Jimmy Neutron, and that sucks. So, yeah, take that as you will. And as William Afton proceeded to go try and go find a way to harass Michael more, he then saw that there was a new pizzeria. Same thing with the puppet, which I should probably have mentioned earlier, which was the thing that gave life to the robots, but whatever. Yeah. Well, him or Emily put the puppet in a bear. And the circus baby got kicked out of Ennard, and Ennard also appeared at the restaurant in Molten Freddy attire, and Circus Baby also appeared at the restaurant. And Henry Emily was like, hey, Michael, deal with this. Bring them in. It's cold outside. They don't want to be cold. So Michael does it, and he proceeds to experiment on them, and yada yada. Electrocutes them, because that must have been satisfying. He also makes the place look sprucey, and, well, then all that's for naught, because Henry Emily burns the fucking place down. Before you think that it gets even worse, just remember that. Oh my god, it only gets worse. After that, then apparently bugs happened, and then now William Afton's back. He comes back in video game form. Well, before that, he was being tortured by Cassidy in hell, but whatever. While William Afton escapes hell and puts Cassidy in a video game because he hates her, yeah, he then proceeds to just, sit there minding his own business in video game until Vanessa shows up and he's like, hey, who the hell are you? And he's like, oh, I'm your father now, get me. And I should also mention this, Vanessa is Elizabeth Reborn, because of course she is. Yeah, either way. And then, while that's going on, I should also mention that Michael Afton was building a robot of his brother Evan in order to replace him, because he felt bad. That robot ended up becoming Gregory. Gregory then visits the Pizzaplex, which is basically a FNAF location that's a freaking mall for some reason. And instead of having Foxy and Bonnie, well, it had Bonnie, but Monty the gator, because of course it's a gator that kills a rabbit, basically said, I don't like you, you die. And before you think that's weird, there's also a wolf there, which, I mean, people loot her, so I don't really want to talk about her. But yeah, either way, Gregory decides to wage war on them and kills them all, and then puts their body parts in Freddy, who's his friend. They then proceed to burn the place down with William Afton inside, and Vanessa, apparently, and run away to the high heavens. Why not? And before you think that gets any weirder, here's what else happens. Well, then Gregory's human friend, or at least I think it's human, I don't know at this point, comes, and she likes eating carrot cake, so she was lured there because of the carrot cake trail, and Gregory trail led her to the freaking Pizzaplex, and she was like, Gregory, you said there was carrot cake, so can I come in? And he's like, yeah, sure, go help me and save me and whatever. It wasn't Gregory, it was the Mimic, which apparently has like a whole other game, but I forgot to mention that because that was the first game in the series. Yeah. So yeah, basically she goes in, she befriends Roxy, who thinks she's Gregory because Gregory removed her eyes, like he did eye surgery. And she has to kill Roxy, unfortunately, and blah blah blah. She has Manny's mask, blah blah blah. They end up finding the Mimic, who tries to kill her. She gets on an elevator, she's like, mind her own business, and Gregory kills her, blah blah blah. That's pretty much the end of the timeline. There. That's FNAF lore. I didn't even mention a Mimic game. Oh crap. To be fair, I didn't even play that or even react to that, so I don't even know what the hell happens. All I know is there was a guy named Edward. His son got hit by a car because he was playing with a ball, and his son is orange because, of course, he's orange. Before you think that gets any dumber, guess what? The Mimic is his son, and it's evil. There's also a bunch of books, and I don't even want to go into them. Like Matt Pat gets pregnant. Yeah. But anyways, I think I explained enough of it. And God, I hope I never have to do this ever again. Peace.